There's no nation, no town, no city without fathers.
Being a Holy Spirit-driven church is New Testament.
The quality of the message, it was based in Acts chapter 2.
And I took my Bible and I went from street to street. Is anybody dead here?
We never met those miracles a reason to appeal for money or to be known. No.
Tracing the Mantles is a program whose core is to identify mantle carriers from our fathers.
That Catholic woman stood and he was sliding everywhere. He said, oh yes, now this is the black Catholic woman.
But these are not only mantles, but spiritual authorities that have paid the cost, stood the test of time,
you are given 6 hours to leave the country,
and made lots of sacrifices for the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Many of us invested in the school, college, university ministry.
But these are not only mantles, but spiritual authorities.
One of the things that bring revival in this country is the power of the Holy Spirit, the presence of the Holy Spirit.
Catch Tracing the Mantles every Sunday from 8:30, hosted by Pastor Sunda Juma, only on Elevate TV.
Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, viewers. This is the Monday Morning Digest. I'm your host, Godfrey Gichuki, and I want to welcome you to today's conversation. I'm sure that you are up and awake and about and beginning to engage with the day. Today is the 12th day of August 2024. The year is rolling very, very fast indeed. But we thank God for the grace and the strength to be alive today. So welcome to the Monday Morning Digest. And as you know, Monday morning we have, we bring in new conversation, interesting ideas, opportunities. I bring guests that have stories to tell us, business or marketplace ideas, or even sometimes some of the biblical and theological questions. So Monday morning is a great time to have a conversation, interesting conversation. Today we're going to be talking about personal branding. And I have a very wonderful guest with me on the set, and I'm going to be asking her, just to welcome you guys and invite you. My guest is Sarah Munyi. She's a life coach, corporate trainer, and personal branding consultant. Well-traveled. She's an author and an amazing person. And I'm sure you're going to be hearing her story today. So, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Pastor Gigi.
I am very happy to host you and just to hear your story and get you to talk to us about personal branding. So I want you to look at that camera and welcome our viewers to this show, invite them to engage, so then we get the conversation underway.
You're most welcome for this show. I think we must find a way of returning this July weather where it belongs. This morning, and we choose to keep warm as we have this conversation. Conversations are one of the ways we keep warm. So please join us and let's engage.
Okay, wonderful. So karibu sana, Sarah, and I think the best place for us to begin is you give us your story. You're an amazing person, you know, life coach. And you know, you've done a lot of training, and I think we need to tell our viewers that if you don't tell them, I'm going to tell them that you're an award winner, various kind of award. You know, for empowering women, for empowering youth. You have trained and coached and mentored a lot of young people across, you know, the world. You've gotten an award in Nigeria, I think 2 Ugandans awarded you. Some guys from the Netherlands came here, gave you an award. So a broad range of awards that have come your way. So you also tell us those wonderful stories, you know, and those moments of joy and excitement. So let's begin from there, your story.
Yes, so Sarah Munyi is my name, and I really want to thank you for hosting me this time. And I want to introduce myself as a sister and a friend. I am many things, as Pastor Gigi has introduced me, but I'm a sister and a friend.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to have a friend.
Okay.
Everybody needs a friend.
All right.
So just know I can't be your friend. and everybody needs a sister, somebody who cares. So among the many things I am, you can just look at me as a sister and a friend. But also, I am very, very passionate about helping people find who they are, find their purpose, and be able to step into it. And I think as you speak of the awards, I've gotten many. Even the other day I was in Nepal, I received an award in Kathmandu. So, and I don't think I was doing this so that I get awards, you know, but you know, these are things that come. Because people appreciate, people recognize, people appreciate the efforts, you know. But it comes from a place of passion. I am passionate about seeing people excel, seeing people succeed. And I know one of the very crucial way you get somebody to excel, achieve their dreams is first of all by finding themselves. Who are you as a person?
Okay.
What is even your purpose? Who are you as a person? That's identity. You see, our topic today is personal branding. And as we speak of personal branding, we have to start from even a point of identity. When I'm training on personal branding, I want to start from a place of identity, because there's no way we can build a brand if we don't have an identity that we have. An identity that's not defined by people, defined out there. It's an identity that you have, that you know you have. You don't need people to call you, brand you, define you. You already have an identity. Yeah, so we must start from there as we speak of personal branding. So for me, I believe that's where the journey started. I started realizing, you know, I think I have more. I was in employment. I was in employment, and I was a very bitter person. Because, you know, you feel misused. You feel, I knew there was something about me, something great in me that I couldn't put a finger on.
Okay.
I know I'm a child of God. I know I was born again. I'm a child of God, but I knew there's something about me that is not. I'm more brilliant than people think, but I'm not able to bring up the brilliance.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really couldn't put a finger. Even when people are discussing the company politics, I would not indulge, because I would feel that's not the conversation I should be having.
Okay.
There's something more I can offer. Until I got into mentorship.
Okay.
You know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Wow, yes, that's correct.
Yes,
that's correct, yes.
Until I really started, seeking, and no, there must be more. And I remember I come from Kirinyaga. So I went to my former primary school. I'm just saying part of the story as we go.
Yes.
Yes, and I remember I went back to my school, and I don't know, what happened is that my mother was also a teacher, so there was an event in the school, people were donating some things to the school, you know, donate things. So my mother I was at home at that time. So, you know, my mother it was a Saturday, and, you know, she didn't even pay attention to the fact that I've come from Nairobi to visit her. She was so excited about these guests who are coming to school that she left me at home that Saturday. So I said, let me follow her and see what is this she's so excited about. I followed her. When I got there, the head teacher knew me and said, Sarah, in fact, you have to speak to my candidates.
Yes.
And I'm saying, Papa, what? You know, but anyway, long story short, at the end of the day, she took me to class 8 to speak to the candidates before the guests come.
Okay.
And so this is a big girl, she was here and all that. So I wondered, what do I tell them? I've never done this, you know.
Yes.
I hadn't done anything like that. But this is what I said, because she took me to the same classroom where I was.
Yes.
So I told them, I once sat where you're seated. I wore the same uniform. I had the same teachers. Teacher so-and-so, he was also my Swahili teacher. And I read the same books, and I'm somewhere in life. You can also achieve your dreams. It was so profound. I just said that because I didn't know what else to say.
Yes.
And I was like, do you have dreams? We talk about dreams. I signed the autographs, and then now the teacher thought I said something very important, that she took me to class 7.
Okay.
And classic, but that's where the journey started. And then I realized, kumbe I have something I can give. That night I thought a lot about my life. I said, kumbe there's something I can give.
Okay.
And it started from there. So now I was in that space. For the very first time I felt I've done something worthwhile.
Okay.
I poured into these children. I saw their eyes. I saw how they looked at me with hope. I said, this is where I belong. If I do even one, even if I just do, today I still remember that face, the face on those children's eyes. And if I can just help one person just have that face of hope, because you've given them hope.
Okay.
I want to do it.
Okay.
I want to do it if it's the only thing I do for the rest of my life, but I didn't know how really. But I thank God I got into mentorship now. I met a life coach and got into a mentorship. That's where that journey began. We cannot build a brand without having something you're passionate about and you want to change lives.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I love that, the idea that you kind of have to discover
yes.
What is in you. And what you have to offer. I thank God for that awakening moment where you actually looked into the eyes of these young, kids, and you told them your story. You saw their eyes light up, and actually you knew, I have something to offer.
Yes.
And so that kind of personal awakening, it was a kind of a personal awakening.
Yes.
And then you found the mentors. I like the idea that when the teacher is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
The teacher appears.
That, I think, is a very profound thing. You must not miss that. Those of you that are following this conversation, make sure you share this story. I want you to hear Sarah's, wonderful ideas and stories, and develop the ideas she has developed over time. So that's a very interesting beginning. So you became, you actually then began to speak to others. So then tell us about the other places you went, because I really just want to hear that journey. It sounds very interesting.
Yes.
After that, did you now then go to high school? Did you go to some corporate events or something like that? Tell us more.
You know what? I think it was just God who was just aligning me, really.
Yeah.
Because, let me tell you, Pastor Gigi, one thing.
Yeah.
My parents are teachers.
Yes.
They are teachers. And I remember my mother wanted me to be a teacher, but I refused with all I had.
Yes.
I refused.
Yes.
But you know what? Today what I do, I teach.
Yes.
I teach, and that's where the journey started. When I went to that class and spoke to that student, my journey in teaching had just begun. So
Yes.
this is what happened after that. I happened to meet a friend of mine. Like we just met in town, like just meeting. We just met, and I knew she had a children's home in Limuru.
Okay.
So I was asking her, how do you inspire those kids? Look, how do you, and we've just met in the streets like that. I was so happy. She told me, do you know, by the way, today we have this speaker. He was called Pepe Minambo. He's launching an academy. He has an event at KICC today at 5 p.m.
Yes.
So he asked me, who is this? Okay, he's a motivational speaker. I said, okay, I'll go and listen to him.
Right.
And you know what? I think that afternoon, I couldn't think about anything else. I was feeling I must be there. So I went to the KICC. The meeting was at the amphitheater.
Yes.
Meeting starts at 5:30 because
Yes.
it was a weekday.
Yes.
I was there by 4. I
Okay.
think I was the first one. And I sat there. I saw the hall fill up. There were speakers who came. I looked at that place and I saw it's like I have been in that place before. I felt like I belong in this world. It was like... It was like an epiphany. Is it an epiphany or what? It was an awakening.
Another awakening moment.
I said, this is where I belong. This is the way I could see myself standing where he was standing. This is where I belong. So, of course, he was launching a program. I signed up. I bought all the books. And the rest has been history.
Okay.
The rest has been history. Samuel had a call of God.
Yes.
He had a call of God as a young boy. But he needed somebody to tell him what it was.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't know who was calling. He didn't know what the call is. He didn't know who was calling. He needed somebody to tell him. He needed Eli, the priest, to tell him. So, and that was mentorship, basically. That was mentorship. Next time when it happens, that was basically the mentorship. You need to be mentored, because sometimes you are not able to see, to bring out. It's other people who are able to see what you have and bring that out. And for sure, that's what happened. So mentorship is really very key.
Right.
Is very key in your journey of growth, and even to become a brand. There's no brand in the world that has not been mentored.
Right.
Has not been sat down, sat down, mentored. You can do this. You shouldn't do this. This is how you should. Mentorship is very important.
Wonderful,
brands, yes.
wonderful. I think you've laid out the ground very well. So let's now dive into talk about personal branding. What is personal branding, and why should we brand ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
So personal branding is what people think about when they think about you.
Okay.
Yeah. What do people think about when they think about you? If, for example, we say Wangari Maathai, what comes into mind when you hear Wangari Maathai?
Yeah, well, environmentalist, passionate. I mean, even the pictures we have about is her grasping some plant.
Yes.
Some tree.
You see,
planting trees, hugging trees.
Exactly. You will really struggle to find any photo of her without environment somewhere.
Yes.
She's like synonymous with that.
Okay.
You are not giving a conversation. I mean, you're not giving a speech about environmental conservation in Kenya without mentioning her or her Greenbelt movement.
Yes.
If you do, and you're here in Kenya, like, you need to sit down and be told. So, because she's almost synonymous with that. You think environmental conservation.
Yes.
When you think about comedy industry in Kenya, there's a name that comes up.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a
Churchill.
name that, Churchill, yes. You're going to speak about comedy industry in Kenya and in East Africa, and you are about an hour. And you have not mentioned some key individuals, there's something you don't know, you see?
Okay.
So the person is almost synonymous with an industry. So what does the mention of your name provoke? Because that's your brand.
Okay.
Yes, that's your brand.
I'm going to be asking you of the set for you to tell me when they mention my name what it provokes. But anyway, that we can save that conversation.
I think it's even a good question to just ask yourself, what does the mention of your name provoke?
Right.
And anytime when you even leave a room, what are people left saying? There's this gentleman, the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. He says that your personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room.
Okay.
For example, let's say you've walked into an interview room.
All right.
Maybe it was a job interview. What are those panelists saying after you leave?
Okay.
Because myself, as part of my work, I do recruitment. As part of my work, I do recruitment. And there's some times when a candidate walks out and we're like, we have our candidate, and we have about 7 others waiting.
Yes.
We are left that we can't speak because we are like the person took away the way they present themselves. They are the candidate.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we feel like, can we afford him? Can we afford her?
Yes.
That conversation. And then also the other times you come, you come into the interview room. When you leave, we are like, what a waste. That was just a waste of time, Or to be honest.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that guy, I think it was just...
Yes. But of course, there are people who want to, of course, they're just petty, want to backbite and what have you. When you leave, there are people like that, friends and what. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying, even when you leave some spaces, there are people who, they leave the office, people breathe a sigh of relief because you make them feel very uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. And not I can make you uncomfortable in a good way because I want you to be better, but it's because of how you make us feel. There are people like that even in workspaces. When you speak to somebody has to get hurt. So when you leave the room, honestly, we breathe a sigh of relief. Good riddance. So basically, how you make people feel is also very important. But I think that's a very important question to ask yourself. What does the mention of my name provoke?
Okay.
Really? And the good news is you have the power to change that.
Okay.
Or at least to mold the kind of picture that you want people to associate you with.
Okay.
You have the power to create that. And even, Jesus was also very careful about how people saw him. He was very careful about his brand. Because Pastor Gigi, I hear people saying that I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what people see. You know, I don't care what they say. I'm just going to be. And you know, he was very careful. And that's why he didn't ask the disciples. He would ask them, who do people say I am?
Right. Yeah.
He was careful.
Yes. Yes.
You can't be with the brand and you don't care.
Right.
I don't care what they say. I don't care. Are you serious? You're just a commodity then. You know, I was saying earlier that in brands we have brands and we have commodities. Brands are bought, commodities are sold.
Okay.
You want to be a brand that is bought, not just a selling commodity like everybody else. Because today, Pastor G, if you go to the supermarket, you want a brand of water. You want water. There are many brands that you can find, but there are those specific ones where you go, the one you know, the one you pick.
Okay.
Yeah, you go. If you are thirsty, maybe you just want some, maybe a sweet drink, maybe a soda. There's that brand that you will go and pick, but there are so many other there lined up there. Why do you go to that specific one? Because you see, we are living in a very, very competitive world.
Okay.
Very competitive. If it's a brand phone, you'll find very many phones. If you're going to buy a phone, there is this one, there's that one, there's that. Why will you go for that one? And why will people choose your brand? I assure you, the services you're offering today, if you're a lawyer, the services you're offering, how many other lawyers are there? How many did you graduate as? You're very many. From your university, from your learning institution, and even from others. Now in Kenya, you're like a drop in the sea of those who can do. So what makes you different? Where will people come to you? I think that's why we're speaking about personal branding.
Yeah, no, that has provoked something I want to ask. You know, I think you hear this cry of young graduates. People come out of college, and all they are talking about is there's no employment, there are no jobs. We are, you know, the national conversation is that there are no jobs and young people are unemployed, and that's supposed to be a disaster. Now here you are, you're talking about personal branding. Yes. So if somebody has just graduated 2-3 months ago, and they are out there, should they start thinking about personal branding? Is it too early? Is it do they really have a brand? And is this something that you recommend as part of how you prepare yourself for the marketplace, whether jobs come in or not, and whether your career is as attractive as other? Because you know there are certain obvious careers that if you do the engineering, perhaps you might be able to secure a job rather quickly, or the biochemistry, or some other advanced and complex kind of careers. It depends. But yeah, so I want you to speak to that, because there are people who will look at Sarah and say, look, Sarah has so much experience, maybe she has many degrees, she has traveled all over the world, she can afford to talk about personal branding. Me, I'm just off college. Why should I even begin to think about personal branding? And I even can't afford a shoe, a nice shoe. So talk about that.
If you are even thinking about personal branding after clearing your university, you're even too late.
Okay.
You're even too late. Start now. Now that you're hearing, even if you are in first year.
Right.
Start now.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see, there are several things that goes into a brand. First of all is your character.
Okay. Yeah.
First of all is your character. Start by building a character, an unquestionable character. For example, when you say I'll do something, I'm going to deliver this report today, I'm going to do this homework today, you promise somebody something, like make sure your word can be banked.
Okay.
That people know you for, oh, are you talking about Sarah? But no, is it Sarah who has taken that? That will be done. Let people know you for that.
Okay.
It will take you very, very far, because that's one of the way that even people honor you, people give you opportunities because of your character.
Okay.
And by the way, even the companies that we call brands, I know there are many in Kenya. We're not going to mention them, but there are many in Kenya.
Yeah.
Many brands.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why you stay with them, or like this, you patronize their services, and some are very expensive. Like even think about in the network, what do you call it? This telecoms network. Yeah, we have about 3 in Kenya, or 4. Yeah, there's some are very expensive, but you stay there.
Yeah,
you complain, but you're gonna stay there. Why? Because the character of this network is reliable, effective, You see? So you stay there. You stay there for the character of it, not even for the price. You will pay the price.
Right.
You pay the price because you know the character of the brand, of the service, is that it is very reliable.
Okay.
So even you as a person, if there's something that will make you indispensable, we need you, is your character.
Right.
Your values. What are even your values as a person? What defines you as a person? Yeah. So those values. When you speak of integrity, and we said integrity is the fear of God the other day.
Yeah.
So when we speak of integrity, let me tell you, values are called values because they are valuable. They're not cheap. They're expensive, and they cannot be afforded by cheap people. When you say I'm a person of integrity, trust me, the test is coming. It's at the corner.
Yes.
To see how let's see this integrity. Because you're gonna be caught somewhere, maybe you are overtaking and all that, and now you see, to find your way out, you find somebody has to bribe a cop, but they have to say on paper everywhere, because it sounds good to say I'm a person of integrity. You don't have integrity. You must be willing to pay the price for the values you claim to have.
Okay.
Yes. So that's very important. And I'm speaking about values because you see values.
Actually,
are what
let me emphasize that.
Yes.
You must be willing to pay a price for the values you claim to have.
Yes.
That is a bankable statement. Yeah, because you claim to be a person of integrity. How much does it cost you to maintain your integrity?
Yes.
There must be a price. Yeah.
There's a price. That's why it's a value.
Yes.
It's valuable.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and when you say you're honest, the test is coming. Trust me. And you find that, like, lies will look like, So when you need to be able to pay the price.
Yes.
And that's how you actually increase your self-worth.
Okay.
Yeah. You increase your self-worth that way. That there was an opportunity for me to bend, and nobody would have known anyway. But I did not. Do you know it increases your self-worth?
Okay.
Even if not many people knew. There's some bunker points in the spirit. I don't know whether I was saying the spirit of what that have increased, but it's there. And I'm speaking about values because values are what builds a character.
Okay.
Be of an unquestionable character.
Okay.
Even as a student, start by that. That we know there are things we don't involve you in. People weekend are going to do I don't know what nonsense. You don't have time for it. They can't even come to you. They know, is it Sarah? Are you speaking about Sarah? Because it's just gossip that you're giving. They don't even want to involve you.
Yes.
You've created a kind of a brand that we can't bring nonsense to you.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And you are a student. Let it start from there.
Okay.
And then now from there, remember you are in school, you're building competence. The other thing that builds you, it's called the circle of personal branding. At the very, very heart, at the very, very heart of these circles, there are about 4 circles. At the very, very center is the character. Yeah. Pastor Gigi, I know people who are kept by their bosses at work, not because they are the best performers, but because of their character. I know this person, I can entrust them with millions. I can entrust them with, kama ni ofisi, atafunga, atafanya kila kitu, they will take care. The character is unquestionable.
Okay.
So they are not the best performers. But because of that character, they are kept, they are preserved.
Okay.
Yeah. And let me tell you, your gift, we say a man's gift makes rooms for him and brings him before great men.
Yes.
Let me tell you, your gift, your talent, your skill, your expertise, your profession, what else do you have? Your intellect, whatever it is you have, will bring you before the palace, will bring you to the king, will bring you to before great men. It is character that determines if you stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your character that determines if you stay.
Yeah. So you say there are circles of that build your brand. One of them is character.
Character. The other one now is where I'm coming to competence.
Okay.
Yes.
Competence. Yes. Competence is the next one.
Yes, competence is the next one. Yeah, from the inside.
All right.
So competence, because remember you're in school for competence. You want to be good in whether it is whatever you're studying, whether it's IT, you want to be good in coding, and when you want to be able to give a solution in the marketplace or in the society. So that's why you've gone to build some competence. So you need to make sure that whatever it is that you're studying or you can do, you are very good at it. That's competence. Competence is being very, very good at something. Build competence. Whatever skill you have, whether you're a plumber, be very, very good at it. That means you take time to learn. And you know, in this day and age, I mean, things are dynamic. Things are dynamic. They're changing very fast. Every industry, you find there are new things, technology is coming up. You stay up to date. You're informed about your area, about your sector, about whichever skill that you have. And then the other thing, you are also give into mentorship as well. People who are doing it maybe on a bigger scale, or they are better than you. You need to give in to mentorship. And then the other thing, I love something that Martin Luther says, that if you sweep the street, sweep it so well, the people will say, here lived the greatest sweeper.
Okay.
That means whatever little thing you are doing, do it excellently.
Right.
Do it excellently. Go, as we call, go beyond the, you know, the expected, you know, whatever was the expectation of the client, go beyond that and do excellent, give excellent. Any service you give, you did it excellently. You see, if you can do that, you build a brand of excellence.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know what, Pastor Gigi, most people will call you because of something you can do for them, because you can help them solve a problem.
Right.
So you really need to work on that. Yeah.
If you can solve a problem, your phone will ring.
And yes, and actually now when you do it, when you solved it so well, such that now, when I think of a graphic designer, I only know one person.
Yes.
Yeah. When I hear somebody wants a graphic designer, I want to vouch for you. I'm saying, no, you need to have this because I know that you're so good with your work.
Right.
Yes. You know, and you are excellent in how you deliver your work. Now that builds your brand.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The competence.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. I think those. These circles. So it's character, competence. Now.
Yes,
I like that. We're going to take a short break.
Yes.
We're going to take a short break. This is an amazing conversation. I'm sure you're enjoying this. I hope you're following the conversation very, very keenly. We are talking about personal branding, and we're giving you actually information that you'd otherwise go and pay Sarah in some seminar, and it's here for free. So please listen, pay attention. Let's take a short break. We'll come back to this conversation.
Life Church International invites you to Assembly 2024. This is not just a gathering, it's a divine encounter. Join Apostle David and Pastor Sunta Juma for a joint service that unites all LCI churches and affiliate ministries. Mark your calendar for 25th August at Eastern Bypass Infinity from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Experience powerful worship, inspiring messages, and a community united in faith. Don't miss this extraordinary event. See you there. Looking to build passive income? Imagine owning a property that generates income while you passively sleep. Naivera specializes in empowering investors like you to achieve just that through investment in affordable rental apartments. Join the ranks of smart investors who are building wealth through income-generating assets, that is affordable rental apartments. The good news is that you can manage your investment hustle free on your mobile phone. We are currently selling Membley Heights. The apartment has ample parking, high-speed lift, 24/7 security, and spacious units with high-quality finishes. With just 1.89 million, you can secure this investment, which offers a return on investment upwards of 10% annually. Usiachwe nyuma. Take action now and start your journey towards wealth creation. Talk to us today on 0798 999 000 or 0115 169451.
welcome back. This is the Morning Digest, and we are having an amazing conversation here. We are talking about personal branding, and my guest Sarah is doing an amazing job. I am so blessed here. We have, I am enjoying every bit of this conversation as we talk about personal branding. So, so here we are, and if you've been following, before we went to the break, we were talking about, Sarah was talking about circles of branding. I mean, if you're building a brand, there's some circle, 4 main circles of that. I guess they are concentric. So starting from the core, working outward. I think Sarah even got it right.
Yes.
And that's so the very heart of branding is character.
It's character.
At the very inner, the innermost circle, and then the next layer is competence.
Yes.
And you know, Sarah, one of the things, before I bring you back to the conversation, one of the things you've said about competence, and there has been a very serious conversation about competence.
Yes.
For example, in respect to the the appointment of the CSs, everybody was saying, okay, so there were people who were saying these people are not competent, or the whole of Ruto's government is not competent, even Ruto himself is not competent, and so this word is being thrown around carelessly, and nobody is going beyond that to explain, okay, what do you mean by somebody is not competent or is competent? And I like the fact that you've opened that up. You are saying when you talk about competence, you're talking about somebody who is very good at something, and can provide solutions.
Yes.
So if you're a graphics designer, actually people know for sure you can actually do that. You can design, and you have a history, you have a portfolio, and your phone will ring. And so that's what, and if one is developing those competence, one way to measure is when your phone rings. And somebody says, hey, Sarah, we'd like you to come to talk to our girls in high school, or we'd like you to talk to, come and be one of our guests in this conference.
Yes.
When your phone rings, you know that your competence has been recognized. And people actually seem to have, you've come to that place where people really know and recognize that you can deliver. And that's very important. So let's talk about the other 2 circles, so that then we can go back to other things on as we talk about personal branding.
In fact, even as we come to those 2 other circles, you see, and that's why if you have a skill, if you're a young person, you've just cleared college or university, you have a skill, make sure, because sometimes you're not able to put a finger, like now you've done a BCom, let's say you've done a BCom.
Right.
You need to make sure there's a skill, something you can do, because let me tell you, Pastor Gigi, on interviews, we ask people, okay, so papers aside, what can you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Papers aside.
Papers aside, yeah, you have your first class, but what can you do? So, and you find nada, nothing, zero.
Yeah.
I can manage, what exactly? So you need to make sure you have a skill. I thank God, because of the education system that we now have, at least we make sure that people have more hard skills, you get, other than just getting a lot of theory.
Okay.
But now, I was saying, when you have this skill now, look for a way, how can I monetize it? Start advertising your services. Like even if you're looking for a job, start advertising. You can market.
Yes.
If you are good with that. You have social media. People live on social media. You can market those, you can market people's businesses, people products. If you can do that, you can do social media management. You have a skill. You can do that now. See how you can package that so that now you actually have a business. So it's very easy. When you have a skill, you can solve somebody's problem, a transaction happens, you're in business.
Yeah.
So it's very important so that we don't just wait until, employment, and then you've waited for a whole 5 years, and it's really very discouraging. Yeah. So now coming to the other 2 circles, now the third circle from the inside is now personal image.
Okay.
Yes, because that's really important.
Yes.
We usually say don't judge a book by its cover. In branding and in perceptions, because also a brand is a perception. In branding and in perceptions, we judge a book by its cover.
Okay.
You are what we see, period. Because even the way you dressed up today, you dressed up, because there's something you wanted us to see. And maybe you are comfortable in your pajamas, but maybe you will not go with them to town. Somehow you thought, what will people think? You get, if we see you in town with your pajamas, or we'll be like, is this person okay? You get.
Sarah, I understand. I understand there is a new brand.
Oh, there's a new brand that looks like pajamas.
The lazy, what do they call it? You know, lazy person's kind of brand. People come in pajamas, you know, those whatevers, and socks and the flip flop.
And the mama flip flops.
You know, I mean, they look terrible. I mean, they look terrible. But I understand Gen Z are okay with that, and in fact, that's supposed to be very cool.
Actually, there are spaces you will not enter with those, and if you enter, we'll be like, are you in the right place? Did you make a mistake? You know, really?
If you walk into the bank, you know, like that, they would think you've lost your way.
Even there are spaces you enter, and even you yourself, you feel you are, I don't need to be, you know, I need to go and, you know, find, because even you feel, I think it's a mistake. Everybody else, people are polished, people look, you know, people dressed up to be in that room, and you are in looking some type of way. So you are what we see. And now you want to speak about some very serious things. Like people come for interviews. The other day I was doing some interviews for with the TSA. And, you know, people are coming. Somebody is coming to be, you know, you're interviewing to be a teacher. The way you're dressed, we're asking this young man, wait, were you going to the club? Because you see, the trousers and easy, you know, ragged jeans, eh?
Yes.
They are called what? They're called
ragged jeans with the ripped jeans, yes.
Gepa. We are wondering, hey, were you coming for an interview? You know, there's a way you, at least, it's okay if you dress like that, but at least when you're coming for the interview, it shows you didn't put any effort. You really didn't put any effort to come here. Then if you're looking for a government job, how do government officers look like when they're going to work? At least wear like that. At least be presentable, you see? So, and you see, even before you open your mouth, it has already told us a story about you.
Right.
Yeah. So your image is everything. You need to mind what you wear and dress for the occasion. That's part of your brand.
Right. And you know, Sarah, maybe as you're talking about dressing up and all that, perhaps I think maybe you could say you need more than just thinking about dressing up. You need to think about the culture, and you need to be kind of culturally intelligent.
Yes.
Because you travel to many countries, and there are many countries that have different styles of wearing. There's, you know, there are countries you go, for example, when you go to Asia, and you've been to Nepal, for example. As a woman, there are certain kind of dress, if you wear and you're going into a church space, for example, you know, you'll be out of place, for sure.
Yes.
Because the local people really would not be able to identify with your style, your American, Kenyan, don't care, whatever it is. So you kind of have to think about the space where you're going into, and the kind of people you're going to interact with. So sort of like cultural intelligence.
Yes, you need to have cultural intelligence. Because I remember even when I was in Nepal, I went to church with even the places I would go and speak. You know, I'm going there in heels. I'm finding. And you know, like there, I realized they remove shoes.
You take out your shoes. Yes.
I'm telling you, all the shoes there were flat. I was like, my God, why? So but me, I went with heels because I'm used with, you know, wearing heels.
You went with your heels.
Yes. They are the only shoes there. You could tell there's a visitor in this place just by looking at the shoes. Yeah?
Yes.
And even in many other spaces, people are easy. And the culture is a bit, you know, is conservative. So you need to be culturally aware. You need to have some intelligence. Some cultural intelligence of where you are.
Yes.
So that is dress for the occasion, and you know, so that at least you're not left out. And also, I think that's why Apostle Paul said, I became all things to all people. That means if you went and found people who are dressing, you dress like them. So that you know, you are culturally, you're being culturally intelligent. Yeah. If you find they sit on the floor, like now, even in church, they sit on the floor.
Yes.
That's what I realized. Go and sit with them on the floor.
Right.
Don't just, you know, me where I come from. You are insisting, no, just go there, sit with them, so that you reach them and you can be one of them.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. Amazing. I think we need to tell, you know, especially the young ladies, that in Nepal, the women actually, you know, women sit on one side of the church.
Yes.
And if there are not enough seats, they are the ones who sit on the floor.
Yes.
They don't get to sit on the big seat, so that's very amazing. So,
and also on the other thing, like even on personal image. Now, there are several things that are speaking to us before you open your mouth. Yeah. And once I've said, of course, is the dressing, that's important. And then number 2, your attitude. Your attitude is speaking before you speak. When somebody tells you read between the lines, what are they saying? Look at the attitude, because the attitude tells the truth. Somebody may be telling you, oh, I'm sorry, Pastor Gigi, you know, or maybe, okay, let me say it like this. Okay, maybe they've stepped on you, and then they say, oh, sorry. You see, I don't know how you take that.
Yeah, it's different.
Somebody has just stepped on you, and then you tell them, oh, you, and then they are just, you know, saying, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if you think, do you think that's an honest sorry?
No. That sounds like, you know, madarao, you know, so to speak, yes.
But you see, I said the right words, but the attitude is
wrong.
Yeah, the attitude is I don't really care. So your attitude is telling a story even before you open your mouth.
Okay,
okay. So that is part of your brand. The other thing are also your body language.
Okay.
You're speaking to somebody, and you look, you know, you're looking the other way. You're even greeting somebody, you don't look at them. Somebody is speaking to you about something important. You're looking there. Your body language is saying, you know, I really don't care. Just be done. I go. You see, so your body language is also speaking. There's a way somebody comes, even you come to an interview room, you see it like...
you flop into the chair.
Your body language is saying, it's like, you guys, you know, there's no respect. You get, your body language is speaking, even before you speak. So there are those things that we need to check. And we say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Okay.
Yeah. So your picture, your whole picture, there's how you've dressed, there's your demeanor, there's your attitude, there's your gestures, your body language. All of that is communicating. It's part of the non-verbal communication you're doing. You've not done the verbal communication, but the non-verbal communication is telling a story about your brand. We're already making conclusions about you, even before you speak. So that personal image is very key. And of course now, by the way, let me say this. If you forget everything else I say, at least remember this. Personal branding is about 3 things. 1, the way you look. 2, the way you speak. 3, the way you act. All of these 3 things need to align.
Right.
Because you can look the part. You came to the interview, for example. I'm just using that as an example. You came to the interview. You looked the part until you opened your mouth. You should never have spoken. You looked the part. You dressed up very well. Until you opened your mouth, you say, well, you know, how could they say that? And there are people who actually they speak. You wonder. It's like a verbal. You know. You wonder what was that. Yeah. And then you can also speak the part until you do something.
Yes.
Now let's say you spoke very well. Of course, you expressed yourself very well on the interview until you're given the job and you can't act up. Yeah. So the way you look, the way you speak, the way you act has got to align.
Right.
Now that's a brand.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we have, I think, one more thing to cover in that. Is that correct?
Yes.
But before we get there, let's take some of the comments that are coming in here. Benny Mutua, this is on YouTube. He's saying, this is amazing show. Identity is key in life. It is the divine resource that God has given every person. Thank you so much, Benny Mutua. And then Karen Kibuchi here, she is following. You must pay the price for the value you claim to have. Value. So value in exclamation mark. Then she also adds that increase your bonga points by your character. So I think what you talked about earlier, the character part of building your brand, very important indeed. I want to just look at on the other side of the Facebook. I'm sure there are some comments here. Let me just check them out and see what we have here. All right, so you know, the Facebook guys, please make sure you comment. Make sure you Kimadi is here. We brand. We are a brand. It sells itself. Yeah. So Charles Kimadi is actually a lawyer. So I think he's really resonating with what you're talking about, because actually lawyers, basically, their whole career is actually premised on the individual person, because the service, the goods are in the person. So you call in a lawyer. And the lawyer has to be there physically in flesh and blood to represent you, to present the case. So yes, that's a very, very powerful thing. Of course, you can have a legal entity which has also very good brand, and other people can come in and serve that. That's amazing. So let's talk about the fourth circle of personal branding, and then we see what that means.
The reputation.
Okay.
Oh yes, it's the reputation.
Okay.
And the reputation is basically what you have built over time.
Okay.
Yes, how consistent have you been in being honest?
Okay.
In being a person of your word.
All right.
Because now, you see, with the reputation goes ahead of you. Your reputation goes ahead of you, opens doors for you or closes doors for you. Yeah, that's what it does. So if you know, like you have a bad name, people know you for a certain, bad thing, it will always go ahead of you. Are you talking about so and so? The one who did So, and you find doors closed before, because of a reputation that you have. That's why it's very important for me. It's very, very important that whatever it is you do, we say do it so well, first of all. Be honest, because you have values. And then also, in whatever you do, make sure that you make people feel important.
Okay.
Yeah. Dignify people in anything you do. Let me tell you, everybody in the world needs hope.
Yes.
Give people hope. I don't care if you're doing real estate or whatever it is that you're doing. Dignify people, show people hope.
Yes.
Make people feel important. Actually, everyone in the world works with an unseen tag here that reads, make me feel important. And because they are important, dignify people. It doesn't matter whether ni konda uko, handle them well. Ata umempatia dhao asubuhi. They have answered the way they want to answer. Don't answer. At the end of the day, when you respect somebody, let me tell you, it always comes back to you. You dignify somebody, they dignify you 10 times, and they give the best of themselves. And that's how you build a name. Because reputation is basically a good name.
Yes.
Good name is worth more than gold. Really.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the word of God. So it's how consistent, your reputation is how consistent you have been. For example, there are brands that have been there. I started seeing them being advertised on TV since I was like a very small child. They have been there throughout. They have a reputation.
Okay.
Now, we say that Rome was not built in a day.
Right.
But it took one day to bring that great city down. It's the same with a reputation. So you may build a reputation for a long time. You have a reputation, of serving people well and all that. You have a certain good reputation. And to bring that down, it takes something very, very small. Okay. Very, very small. So you need to be very careful, even the people you bring around your brand, your good name that you have built along the years, because there are people who just throw mud. They came to just, because they are full of mud. They came to just near you to just, wakushikisha, So you've got to be very careful around people you bring around you when you have a good reputation.
Yes.
And that's part of your brand. How consistent have you been in now doing these good things, being competent, keeping a good image, and even not just that, even the character, your character, serving people authentically. Brands are also about authenticity. I think you were alluding to it earlier. You've got to also be very authentic. Yeah, we are not lying. This is who we are.
Right.
Whether online or offline, this is who we are.
Right.
You want to show a track record of what we have done. This is what we have done. These are the lives we have changed. A brand has got to be authentic as well.
Right.
So we are not just putting up a good image out there on social media. No, come to the ground. We have done this. Let people speak for themselves. We have done 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course that's why I'm saying also the other maybe important thing is also the consistency. Why do brands? I'm avoiding to speak names, but there are those brands, even let me say beverage brands.
Yes.
There are household items and names in many, in households across the world.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to go for any party, there will be this beverage brand that's there.
Yes.
And so they know people know them. But in every highway in Africa, every big street across the world, you'll find they have billboards. They are splashing millions of money on advertising because they want to be on your face. They are very consistent even on their advertising. They want to be in your face every time. Why? Because we want to dominate your mind. So that anytime you're thirsty, Pastor Gigi, you enter that kiosk or you enter that supermarket, what are you thinking? You're thinking this brand.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to be consistent so that now you dominate. How do we dominate? You know we speak of dominion.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
You are in our minds. Yeah, you're very consistent in your advertising, in the narrative that you're pushing. Maybe you are a lawyer, like the lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
like Charles, our friend Charles Kimathi.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And others here. Let me just read a few more comments on the Facebook. I think. Yeah, so Charles is following this conversation very well. She is saying, true, service providers must get their brand, I believe, brand correct. Charles also adds that reputation, what you have built over time, whatever your hands do it with all your heart, all your mind. Give value to people, dignify people. They shall definitely dignify you 10 times. Be careful in who you bring along you. Be authentic. So Charles, thank you so much. Charles is actually following this conversation very, very well. And indeed, and we are so grateful. Thank you for your comments. Let me just check if there are a few more additional comments on the YouTube. And then we can read them out. Okay, I think those we had read out. So, Sarah, before we end this conversation, or rather, before we run out of time, there is something else that you do that I really wanted you to comment on. The whole idea of, public speaking, yes. Okay? And the idea, the need for somebody to be able to express themselves, yes. To speak clearly, be able to articulate themselves. How valuable is that in building a brand? And also tell us about your success stories, about your public speaking ventures. Yes. Yeah.
Actually, personal branding and public speaking are sisters. They are twin sisters. Yes. Yes, they are twin sisters. And public speaking is a very key skill for any professional, any entrepreneur. It's really everything now, because you have this skill, you have this gift, you have a ministry, you have whatever it is that you have, you're pushing. Mm-hmm. For you to do better, for you to really impact, yes. You will need to explore public speaking. Mm-hmm. And I think even if we take our example of Jesus, even him he knew. For me to really, get people knowing about the kingdom, our kingdom, the kingdom of my Father, he had to explore public speaking, whether it's in the streets, on the sides of the roads, whether it was on the synagogues, or whether it was, he had to explore that. And I assure you, even for you, to take that career you have, that gift you have, that business you have, that whatever talent you have, you need to explore public speaking. And it's basically being able to express yourself well. Public speaking is the act of speaking to a live audience, whether it's here on TV, like this is public speaking. Okay. Even though it looks like we are just here together, but I mean, there's a whole many people watching. But also, maybe you are in a boardroom. Maybe it's like not today is Monday morning. There's a lot of those staff meetings. Yes. You're going to speak make a presentation or speak to 10 people, maybe in your department or in your office, or even it's in public. Maybe it's even in church. It's a really a very key skill for you to get out, express what it is that you have, and you need to master it. And public speaking is for everybody. I was speaking somewhere at KSG, and some people are asking, we are not, why are you speaking about public speaking? We are not politicians, we are not journalists. And this was a whole conference. We were about 300 of us in that smaller theater. But I was saying, look, do you realize you've had to explore public speaking to get your voice heard and to get your idea heard? So it's a very key skill that for any professional needs to develop. And that's why I always say, please, if you want to get better at anything, please go to school and be taught. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go to school and be taught. Yeah. But there are 3 key things that encompass public speaking. One, how do you build a message for any audience? Okay. Because let me tell you, Pastor Gigi, one of the fears people have of public speaking is, what if I forget what to say? Yes. Yeah, and they start having mind gaps. You stand up and your mind sits down. Okay. You start saying, Yes. When you hear somebody saying, they've forgotten, they've lost their track of thought. Okay. How do you deal with that? That's the first thing. 2, how do you build a message for any audience? Okay. 2, how do you build the confidence? Because you may have the message, but you don't have the confidence for it. You did a very powerful, PowerPoint. You've prepared a very good PowerPoint presentation, but you don't have the confidence to tell it, you know. And then you may have the confidence. The number 3 now is, how do I deliver in style?
Okay.
Yeah. How do I deliver in style so that I make sure I am impactful and memorable? Yeah. Because then you can be confident, but you deliver. Nobody even remember you spoke. Maybe it was a conference. It was about, maybe there will be several speakers. People don't even remember you spoke because you're not impactful. There was nothing interesting, really. It was just, you know, you just went there and just delivered it. There's some style. That's why we speak of the art of personal brand, the art of personal development.
Yeah.
So it encompasses those 3 things.
Yes.
Anything that falls apart in personal, I mean in public speaking, or anything that you have really loved has got to do with these 3 things. Somebody mastered their message.
Yes.
Somebody mastered the confidence, and they knew the art of how to deliver it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Sarah, amazing. You've really helped us, you know, and we have learned so much so far from you, and especially on the personal branding. You've really broken it all down. You've been able to talk about the, you know, the I would say 4 dimensions: the character, the competence, the image, and the reputation. Those are the 4 circles of branding, personal branding. Absolutely amazing. Now, I would like us to, I would like you to talk about, so how do you monetize this? So you build this personal brand, you work so hard. How do you then, you know, get some payback? So maybe you can tell us, you know, how, where is the opportunity? So you can work very hard, and you have this personal brand. Of course, you're saying, for example, if it's an interview, you're pitching for a job. Obviously, you want to succeed in that. Are there other ways that personal branding can work for you, other than maybe winning this wonderful job, or being able to successfully speak to an audience in a church environment? Can you also make money, maybe just being a personal brand, you know, running around and maybe just getting invited and paid for showing up or something? Tell us about that.
Oh, yes, of course. Actually, it's not even about getting a job. It's not, well, that's good if you get it, but it's being outstanding in your area of expertise, because as we said, you're very many of you. Yes, you find in any industry, you find, that's why I was like just giving an example of like lawyers, of like even speakers,
even teachers,
teachers. There are very many. How many are graduating every day? How many are in those colleges right now? So it's about you being outstanding, creating a compelling brand that is outstanding in the market.
Yes.
What makes you different? There's something that differentiates you, and your value. You know what? We don't care how much you charge your services, whether it's your photography services. We know you have built a certain kind of a brand. You are very excellent in what you do. So for my wedding, I don't mind paying 150,000 for your photography services, but there's another person offering at 20,000.
Right.
You get? There's
Yes.
another person who'll be offering at 50,000. I'm not looking that way. I'm looking at you because I know you've shown the kind of work that you're able to do. You are a brand in this area. So it's about that.
Right.
And you start to attract the kind of clientele that you want. That's why building a personal brand is really very important. And those key things we have looked at, the character, the competence, all of these, your personal image. Even we've not even, Pastor Gigi, we've just started like a very small part. Even the way you speak, the way you act, we have not even looked at that, but it's okay. There's another time for it. So it's for you to be outstanding in your area of influence, and you can dominate whichever industry you are in.
Yes.
That's why you need a personal branding. Now, and also for public speaking. Because also, you see, you're going to have to stand before people and speak, tell them about your services, you know. Yeah. So you need the skill of public speaking. So, because as you build your brand, you are also able to articulate this brand very well, articulate eloquently the kind of services you can offer people and solve their problems. So these two skills actually, they go together. They work hand in hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sarah. You've really helped unpack this personal branding. You've helped us actually understand that it is a skill. It's a life skill, and I think that's why you are a life coach. It's a life skill. It's something that really is the center of building a strong personality, building a brand, actually, and being able to stand out there.
Yes.
And I mean, that's what really then opens the door. We all want doors open for ourselves. So yes, I think you could do with beginning to build very, very specific skills in this area. You've had us out. You've had Sarah talk about personal branding. She is indeed herself a brand. And so please, if you want to engage her, you want to involve her in your conference, international conference, local conferences, or whatever areas where you know she can add value. She's absolutely amazing, and I'm so privileged to have had her on the show. Like I say, she's an author. She's written a couple of books. One of them she's written is Simple Steps, Big Changes. Some of you really need to begin to build your life, your brand, your personal story very well. So please get in touch with Sarah. So Sarah, I want you to look at that camera and tell people how they can reach you, and how else they can benefit from the services you offer, and yeah, wish them well and bless them for the day, for the week.
Fantastic. So please, if you forget everything else I have said, please remember, personal branding is about three things. How you look, how you speak, and how you act. Make sure those three things align. You'll be building a formidable brand. You can find me on social media, on Facebook, Sarah Munyi, the life coach. You just see my face. On TikTok, I'm huge on TikTok, Sarah Munyi. On YouTube, Sarah Munyi Business and Life Coach. On LinkedIn, I think I'm also huge on LinkedIn, Sarah Munyi, FIIM. Yeah, all social platforms, even Instagram, just Sarah Munyi. You'll just see my face. I'll be very, very happy to connect with you. Let's take this conversation offline. Feel free to inbox me. Feel free to comment. And we do this kind of, trainings for companies and organizations. So I look forward to engage with your team very soon. Thank you very much. And have a really blessed week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much indeed. This has been the Monday Morning Digest. I've been your host, Godfrey Gichuki, and I love doing this. I think that's my brand. So do have a very good day, and thank you for staying tuned in. I believe you have learned so much, and may you have a great day and have a great week, and we'll see you same place, same time, every Monday morning. I'm here, and make sure you're tuned in, and let's build ourselves. Let's take this conversation forward. May God bless you, and bye for now.